It was a Friday afternoon. The rain was pitter-pattering on the skylight above me as I lay lazily on the couch, doom-scrolling on my phone. I was off work for the day, and I just didn't really have much to do. I was relaxing, and I came across something very interesting on my OCDsaster Blue Twitter. And that was a potential rumor for the upcoming Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition. You see, there is a user by the name of Bill Coon who has been accurate with a lot of Sonic news. Sometimes they're incorrect, but for the most time, they are a reputable source. There are people saying that they have inside knowledge, and they have released a little bit more information on what this potential Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition is. Now, to go back, for those of you that are unaware, there was a leak a few months ago in Korea, and the title that was displayed in Korean was Sonic Frontiers Definitive Edition, and the internet kind of went crazy with that, myself included, just wondering and speculating on what this could actually be, considering the DLC for Sonic Frontiers was all free, so packaging that all up together wouldn't really do much more. So a lot of us started to think, is this some extra content? Is this, having a visual upgrade, less pop-in in the open zone worlds? Well, it looks like we might have some more information now from Bill Coon, and I'm going to go ahead and share the rumor that's been spreading from this person, but then talk about how I kind of did more of a deep dive, and I'm more confused than ever. You see, I went to multiple articles to kind of cross-check this information, especially since it's a rumor, and fortunately, all these sources are still claiming that this is a rumor and that it's not definitive. Get the pun there. I don't even know if that's really a pun. But anyway, these articles all said this was a rumor, so that's great. So we can take it with a grain of salt and just be very cautious about it. But there was conflicting information in some of these articles versus others. So I want to say, one, they all said it's a rumor, and two, they're all talking about the Sonic Definitive Edition being released on June 23rd, Sonic's actual 35th anniversary, for the Nintendo Switch 2. And then the rest kind of trails off into uncertainty. Some are saying that it's both physical and digital copies. Some are saying it's only a digital copy. Some are saying it's an upgrade to the Nintendo Switch version of Sonic Frontiers. And some are even saying that this will be announced at the PlayStation State of Play, and that this could come out for different systems, but it's just the Switch 2 version that's coming out on June 23rd. And to me, that's all very confusing. So the first bit was a spark of outrage on the internet. If it's true that this is sincerely only coming out for the Nintendo Switch 2, then I myself will also be upset, because out of all the consoles you can have an upgraded version for, why the Switch? Now, I heard the Switch port, or the Switch version of Sonic Frontiers, was really bad, and that's not shocking to me at all. But aside from the hardcore Sonic fans and the people that might want to play Sonic Frontiers on the go, this doesn't really help a lot of the other Sonic fans, especially for a celebration of Sonic's 35th anniversary. So I'm a little bit confused on that front. In addition, if it's announced at the State of Play that this will only be releasing for the Nintendo Switch 2, that makes absolutely zero sense, because State of Play is a Sony thing. So if it is announced at the State of Play, then we can assume that means it's going to maybe initially launch on Switch 2, but then come out to other platforms such as the PlayStation 5. So that is my tidbit on that part of it. But my bigger overall question is, what is coming with this definitive edition? There was only one article that I found that said that it would include an extra exploration zone and some extra missions, along with some polished visual upgrades, but all the other articles that I saw didn't really have this information, and I'm just not 100% sure what is actually happening. And like I said, the DLC for Sonic Frontiers, the base game, was free. So for a lot of these definitive editions or Game of the Year editions, they take all of what was a payable DLC, which you had to purchase, and make it all packaged together for the game's release, so that way everyone can explore and do that content. But since Sonic Frontiers already had free DLC, that's not going to work. You could package it all up, but it's like we already have it. So that doesn't really make much sense. I forgot to also mention that the price allegedly for this definitive edition is $50. So it doesn't seem like they would be putting in a lot of resources to add more content in if the price is only going to be $50. I think I could be wrong, but the original game was $40, I want to say, back before we had this big bubble burst, and now games are all costing an arm and a leg. But I could be wrong about that. I'm very curious on what a definitive edition would look like for anything besides the Switch 2. If it's just for the Switch 2, then yeah, they can just do their upgrades and stuff like that. And I will be very disappointed because that's nothing, especially for a celebration of Sonic's birthday. However, if it is out on other consoles, say the PlayStation 5, which I play the original Sonic Frontiers on, I would be interested to see what they add to it. Less pop-in, more visual, looks and aesthetics, but are they actually adding extra missions and maybe even a new world to explore with possibly a new Titan to fight? That would be a very cool addition to see, but Sega or Sonic Team, both of them have not yet commented on the matter. It has not been officially announced, and I'm wondering with this leak if they will jump ahead of it or if they're just going to wait until they initially plan to announce it. Whether that's at the state of play or later down the line, I don't know, but tomorrow will be the 23rd, meaning it will be exactly a month away from Sonic's 35th anniversary, and we really haven't gotten a lot of content. I have a new video coming out on Sunday discussing more about this lack of content that we're getting for Sonic and his 35th anniversary, along with the recent announcement that they finished shooting for Sonic Movie 4. So if you're interested in that, please consider checking that out and subscribing to the channel. I do Sonic exclusive content. Everything we do here is Sonic related. So if that sounds like something your speed, consider subscribing and checking out some other videos after this one. But with that being said, I'm very curious of what you guys think. Do you think this rumor is true? Do you think that we're only getting a definitive edition for the Switch 2? What do you think about that? Or do you think we're going to be getting a bigger definitive version for all consoles? And what do you see that being? What do you think will be added there? I'm very curious on all your thoughts and opinions, and once again, this whole thing is a rumor. We're not 100% sure as of this recording, so we'll just have to wait and see what the truth reveals, but I am curious on what you all think. Make sure that you're not spreading false information, right? I know we tend to get really excited, we read things and we go with it, but really do your research. If you don't think that something's 100% true, just make sure you're like, oh hey, I heard this thing, or it could be this. Don't just say it as fact, because that's just not conducive to the conversation. But with that being said, I'm OCDsaster, and I hope you have a super Sonic rest of your day. See ya.